Hey everyone, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2024 Acura MDX, we're going to be showing you how to install the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver. Before we do that though, let's take a minute, check it out, and make sure it's going to be the right hitch for you. So when it comes to actually putting a hitch on a vehicle like the MDX, it makes sense. You know, these are full-size SUVs and pretty capable. So if you're looking to pull a trailer around, use accessories, or even do a little bit of both, this one will definitely get the job done for you. Right away, I do want to address a lot of the big questions that people wonder. One of them being, is this hitch going to work with all the different types of submodels? And the answer is yes. From the base model up to the fully loaded one, the hitch will bolt up just fine, and really with one exception, and that is if you happen to have that hands-free liftgate assist feature. From my understanding, the hitch can potentially hit the sensor that's back here and push out on the fascia. It sounds like some people have made it work, but I can't personally speak to that as I've not tried it. So if you have the hands-free liftgate, the draw-tight hitch will bolt up and not interfere with that as far as, you know, pushing up onto the sensor or anything. So that might be a safe bet to look into that one if you do have the hands-free. A lot of people ask about the spare tire going back up into place, and ours didn't have any issues, and the vast majority of the MDXs out there are going to be set up the same. As long as the actual wheel or rim doesn't exceed 18 inches in diameter, spare tire will bolt right back up, or go right back up rather. If you happen to have a model that has a full-size spare, so really a wheel that matches the wheels on the outside of the car, that's where you're going to have some issues. If you have that full-size spare, it won't go back up into place. With that said though, I do think this is going to be the best looking hitch. For the most part, it's going to be completely hidden. You know, just be able to see the receiver tube opening here. And I really like the finish. It has a matte black carbide finish. And almost matches the plastic on our bumper perfectly. And to me, it kind of just puts off that factory style option. Compared to some of the other hitches, they're going to be really similar, pretty much just be able to see this part, but the finish of them will be a little bit different. So with the Curt hitch, it's a gloss black finish, and with the draw tight, it's kind of somewhere in the middle, more of a semi-gloss finish. This is going to have a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, which is a good thing because that's a super common size. A lot of stuff will work with it. It is going to use that standard 5/8 pin and clip. Keep in mind though, one doesn't come with the hitch. If you need one, not a big deal. You can always grab it at eTrailer. Or a lot of times too, if you end up buying a new accessory, they'll come with one. So it's something to look out for. If you keep your accessory in here all the time, might not be a bad idea to even upgrade to a locking style hitch pin. That way it'll keep it secure. It is going to have loop style safety chain openings, which are easy to get to and large enough to allow you to use pretty much any size hook that your trailer might have on it. As far as the weight capacities go, the hitch is going to have a 900-pound maximum gross tongue weight rating, which is the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. That's a really high number, and you should be able to use pretty much any size bike rack or cargo carrier that you'd want to, for example. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, that's going to be 6,000 pounds, or the amount of weight pulling on the hitch. So that is the weight of your trailer, plus anything that you might have in or on it. This can be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component. What happens whenever you use that, it's going to keep your MDX and your trailer level whenever you're towing it down the road. That's a pretty popular thing to do on enclosed trailers, campers, things like that. And if you use that system, the tongue weight rating will remain the same at 900, but the trailer weight rating will go up to 8,000 pounds. Now, with all that in mind, something I do always like to recommend, it's always a good idea to grab your Acura's owner's manual. That way you can check in there and make sure that your MDX can handle that much weight safely. We'll grab a couple measurements now, and these will help us figure out what type of accessories will work the best. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, taking into account the lift that we're parked on, that'll be about 15 inches. So more than enough for your accessories and ground clearance. And if you plan on pulling a trailer, could probably use a ball mount that has a straight shank, or maybe even one with a very slight rise, an inch or so. Probably work well for most situations. If you go from the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of the rear bumper, that's going to be about 3 inches, which is really good. So you shouldn't come into too many issues here, but if need be, you can use that to figure out exactly if any of those folding style accessories you might have can be stored in that upright position without hitting the back of your MDX. Other than that, at the end of the day, this is probably my favorite hitch available for the MDX. I just think it looks the best and blends in. As far as the installation goes, really straightforward. Not a whole lot to it at all. Lower that spare tire down to give you some room to work, and essentially the hitch just bolts right up into place. So really shouldn't come into too many issues or take up a bunch of your time, but if you're going to be doing this yourself, feel free to hang around. We'll go ahead and get started on it now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here at the back of our Acura, and we need to temporarily lower and remove the spare tire. That way we can have the room that we need to get the hitch up underneath. We can now move underneath of our vehicle, and we're going to be working on each one of our frame rails. We're going to have a total of 3 attachment points on each one of our frame rails. And I want to mention from this point on, whatever we do to one side of our Acura, we're also going to do to the other side, because it'll be set up the exact same way. But you'll have this threaded hole, this one, as well as this one. And I do suggest cleaning these out. You know, you can spray some penetrating oil in there if you want, a tube brush, and just work it through there. That way if there's any grime or anything, it'll get cleaned out. The hardware that we're going to use will be the same for all of our attachment points. You're going to have a bolt and a conical tooth washer. Make sure that the teeth on the washer are going to face like this, so up towards the hitch. So the way this will work, we'll hold the hitch up, put the bolt through the hitch, and thread it into those attachment points. If you can have someone give you a hand with this part, it makes it a lot more manageable. But we're just going to take our hitch, raise it into position, get all the holes lined up, and take our hardware that we talked about and get it all started hand tight. Once you have all the hardware in place and hand tight, we can center the hitch, because you can slide it from side to side a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of split the difference there. And then we'll come back with a 22mm size socket and snug all the hardware down. I want to make sure to come back with a torque wrench now and tighten down all of the hardware to the amount specified in the instructions. With the hitch all torqued down, we can go ahead and raise our spare tire back into position. Got our spare tire back up without any issues, cleared our hitch and everything. And with that done, we're in good shape. We're ready to go. So that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver on our 2024 Acura MDX.